Okay, so I'm back again. I'm gonna try and clear this out this weekend. Today is Saturday. The last 2 days I've been doing my other job. I did a 12-hour delivery on Thursday, which is my normal delivery day. But that was a separate like rush order delivery. 12 hours straight driving in the heat, no AC. So that was exhausting. And then the next day I did my normal delivery uh, where I drive out to the mountains. And that was fine, just a normal like 7 hours or whatever. And today is Saturday, and so I'm cleaning this out. What? I'm just gonna flip the camera around and sort of give you the game plan. Okay, so right now I'm parked a little far away. I'm going to try and get it close enough that I can run this ramp right into the back of the van. I'm going to try and get all the heavy stuff today. So small engine, quote unquote, small engine, large pump. So that thing, probably very heavy. Like, I don't know how much. All these wheel weights, I'm going to try and get in there. This doodad, motorcycle parts, they're coming today. Like all of this, like that's gonna take up quite a bit of room. But I think I can jam it in there. All of the tobacco tins with what's in there, like screws and nuts and bolts and stuff. Maybe I'll try and get the tire balancer in, bicycle, and as many of these electric motors as I can jam in today. So that's kind of the plan. Maybe I'll throw the wire on top. I think that's going to clear out a lot, really make the space look quite empty, because it'll be quite empty at that point. And then tomorrow, I'm going to come back. I'm going to sort these shelves of stuff. It's nasty. Like there is a lot of critters who've been living in there. I think a lot of it, it's hard to say, because like that's a box of, as far as I can tell, I haven't looked super close at them, new pistons. There's another one over there, a box of new pistons. So I haven't looked at any of the other boxes. It could be really good stuff. I don't know yet. But at this point, I'm just trying to get to completion, like finish this space so I can move on to the next one, because the next one's really awesome as well. And the other thing I'm gonna do today is there's a lady I work with who she mentioned, I told her I was out here doing this job, and she said, is there any barn wood? I said no, the barn that they had, someone already approached them to take the barn wood off before they knock it over. I said, but there's this really cool shiplap stuff that's the same kind of vibe. And she said, can you get me enough to make a headboard? So if I have time today, I'm going to pop, like 10 or a dozen of those boards off. If they come off easy, if they don't, then it's just not going to happen. So yeah, that's the plan. Get all the heavy stuff today. And then, yeah, there's the big typewriter. A couple. Yeah, so I'm just gonna see how much I can get loaded. Gonna try and get the hydraulic rams today as well. There's at least 3. But I always think I have more room than I do. So we'll see what we can get in. But I think no matter what happens today, it's going to end up looking much emptier. I don't know what I'm like. I'm really torn on this garage door thing. Like, they're not difficult to test, but like I just assume it's broken. Like, why would you uninstall a garage door opener that's working, but it's also like people crash into their garage doors and hire a company and they replace all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. It's also not a big dollar thing to sell used. Like I'd be lucky if it works to get like $40 for it, I think. I don't know. So it's a hard thing for me to decide to pack out of here. But I don't know. I probably will. We'll see. I'm trying not to. But yeah, I'm gonna start going and then I'll kind of show you progress as I go. I think the first thing I'm gonna try and get out of here, because it's both kind of in a difficult spot and weighs a ton, is there's a industrial electric motor back in here. So I'm gonna try and make a path to it and get my big heavy duty dolly over here. Like, I don't know if it's like, that's like 4 times the size of your standard electric motor. So it's got the post. I can move it, so I think if I can get it on my dolly, I can wheel it out of here. Just gotta make the space, do a few garbage runs with this stuff. This weird broken hard drives, like smashed up hard drives. There were some really old ones over in the corner over there too. I don't know if they're doing gold recovery or getting the magnets maybe, but yeah, really strange. Oh, here's a regulator valve of some sort. So that's interesting. Don't know anything about that, but it's interesting. Yeah, like building supplies. Ooh, I actually can use that. That's what my water tanks, my rainwater recovery tanks use. So I will set that aside for myself. Here's more of those ties. These looks like water meters almost. Yeah, these are water meters, so that's interesting. Huh. So yeah, there's all sorts of interesting stuff over here. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Looks like a... Huh. So that would move this thing. Yeah, not too sure on that one. There's a nice little water pump. I might... This is kind of the size where I'm like, oh, maybe I can test that out and see if I have a use for it. But yeah, just all sorts of neat stuff. Here's... These are like fire bricks, I believe. Which sort of makes sense. There is a lot of... What are those called? The like... bullet casting sort of stuff, like all the wheel weights. I think that's what they were for. I haven't found the molds. If I found those, I'd be pretty stoked on that, but I haven't seen them. I'm just kind of looking up here to see if there's any interesting wood or building supplies. I don't know. I do think I will do a scrap metal run. I don't want to do it on the weekend because they'll be busy. And I kind of want to, I've never really done scrap metal stuff, so I kind of want to be able to ask them questions when they're not rushing and annoyed. So that's why I'm not doing that today. And then once I sort of get a feel for the scrap metal, I can decide how many of these electric motors I'm gonna keep or throw away. All right, I'm gonna stop and start getting this stuff moving. Ah, got me. Just stabbed myself with this barbed wire. It fell. That's okay. There's gonna be all sorts of scrapes and scratches. Okay, see you in a bit. So it's a bit janky, but I've got my van backed up here. Because of the ditch, the angles are all wonky, but I think it should be fine if I can get my dolly and whatever is heavy, that if I get it to this point, you're basically at your destination. So I can either just stop it here, hop in the van, pull it off, or just bounce it down, just tip it back enough that the top goes through, and just drive it wherever I want to park it in here. The risk, of course, is the stairs. They're rotten. One's already broken. The other one's lost a chunk. So entirely possible once I get one of these 100-200 pound motors on here that I will be going for a wild ride. But that's the risk you take. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting stuff loaded in here. Pulled the bike out already. I think it's hard to do the planning, right? Do I want the absolute heaviest stuff right at the back or right next to the door so that I can get them out the easiest? Or do I want them centered on the wheelbase so that my front end isn't tipped up and blinding people as I'm driving? So yeah, I got some decisions to make. But yeah, I'll get going. So I am not a huge car expert, not by any stretch, but I do know just enough. And so I'm coming across stuff. There's no cell or data reception out here. And so what I'm doing is just looking for part numbers. This is some kind of cast aluminum, I think. I haven't checked it with a magnet. But I did see, I don't know if you can make that out. There's a logo there. That's FOMOCO, which is Ford Motor Company. And then up here is a part number, which is C5DA 6394-A. So I'm just taking a picture of that right there, and then when I get home later, I will research it and see if this is something I want to scrap or try and list on eBay. It's not, it's heavy. That's not gonna be super pleasant to ship, but I think it is shippable if it's worth, if it's worth $60 plus, I'll go through the pain of it. If it's not, I won't. I don't think there's anything on there that can be broken. I don't see any cracks or chips or whatever. So I think it's in fine condition. Could I be wrong? Sure, I could be. But for me, it's worth checking stuff like that. And then I'm just gonna leave it here. And so if I find out it's worth good money, I can come back and grab it. Here's another one. Ford D7AE-6059-AA. Again, oh, see, this one is damaged. You can see that where a screw goes in there is snapped. So I don't have to worry about this one. This one is just scrap. I believe this is aluminum as well. You can see there is I think that's like a rubber bushing in there. So I'd have to rip that out to take it in for scrap. But that's easy enough. So that's my bad pile now. And that's my possibly good pile. This is just like a muffler, possibly. I'm gonna say that's what it is. There's a part number on there, but between the condition and kind of what it looks like, I'm just gonna call that scrap. So it's going there. It's not aluminum, so I don't know how far it's gonna go. So this is, you can see it's got a big dent in it, but I think that's not that big of a deal. So I'm willing to just take a look up that KF314BB. I'm guessing that's the part number. Flip this over, see if there's engine. Sorry, I'm just scraping it to see if I can. So this has kind of the engine information on it. Yeah, it's pretty banged up, but it might still be worth something, so worth taking that down to. This looks like some kind of, not sure. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. And then, so I have my kind of, this is the pile of things that I might want to grab next time. Set aside. And then as I go through and find other stuff, you know, take down the part number, set it there. When I come back, I'll have looked them up and decided what's worth packing into mine and what's going to recycling. It's hard to express just how much mouse poop we're dealing with here. Like, these are all just like coming out of places. Like I banged these lids off. They were covered in dirt, dust, mouse poop, nest stuff. But those are ones that were just like in the cracks. And like as I set another one on top, they just slipped out. So like it is everywhere. Like these are plastic bins with metal containers inside them. Like there's no great incentive for mice to be there, but even so, mouse poop everywhere. Kind of wild. Okay, so I got that big water pump in. At one point I had the discharge tube stuck in the door, and it was, you could see it bending this. So that was an adventure, and I did drop part of it on my foot. Didn't break nothing, but I know it's gonna swell up like crazy because it squished some stuff. So that wasn't great. Probably should have wore steel toes or something today. I don't know. But it's in there. Pretty out of breath. I should take a break and drink some water because I don't know how hot it is right now. Feels like 25, 27, not 30 yet, but I think we're headed there today. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather. But yeah, making progress. I got all of those tobacco tins, the pump, one small engine, and I don't know if you can see it from here. Oh, I knocked a bunch of my supporting blocks for this thing off too while I was doing that. That yellow box has air paint sprayer and a little air compressor that goes with it, so that one's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going. You can see the space is starting to empty out. Yeah, I still haven't got those electric ones. I'm making the path to it and figured I would get that big one before. But yeah, I think it's going good. I didn't mention before that I'm trying to get out of here sooner rather than later. That's why the goal was to just do the heavy stuff and then take them home. Because I want to get home. I want to hang out with the dog, well, my wife's actually gone to town, so it's mostly so the dog's not home alone. Which he's fine. He's an old dog, so he just sleeps when we're not there. But it's still, he's fairly new to us, so we don't want him to get depressed or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm just focused on getting bulky stuff out, getting the van filled, and then hitting the road. I am kind of on schedule for what I was shooting for. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be making this video. I would just be packing stuff. So, it's kind of going to plan today. So yeah, I'll keep on going, drink some water, and then keep going. I have been opening the windows here. That one's kind of funny because it's if you can't really see, it's just, see if it'll adjust to the light. The mechanism for opening is meant to be side mounted like this. On that one, it's on the bottom, and so it won't stay open. Like you crack it open, and it just like you can open it that much. So I guess I could pop this screen off and then put a stick to keep it open. But the other thing is this thing's sticking out the whole time, so I don't want to impale myself any more than I already have, so I'm just gonna leave that one closed and have that one open, and that one I open sometimes too. It's not right now. But yeah, let's see if I can get that big one in. It probably weighs the same as that other one I just got in there, but it's like a quarter or half the size. It's just dense. But yep, let's do it. So I got this one over here. You can see the ramp is now a teeter-totter. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make out those numbers later. We'll see. You might crank the brightness so that. Nope. But yeah, this thing's real heavy. I ended up just carrying it here instead of putting it on the dolly. So once I had it lifted up, I knew I wouldn't want to lift it up again. So I just carried it, knocked some stuff over as I was kind of waddling with it. But yeah, it's here. Now I just need to snug it in there. So that's nice. That's most of the crazy heavy stuff is now in or almost in. And then I'm going to throw the wire on top, and then it's just kind of that and the motorcycle, and that's kind of that's kind of the goal for today, was to get the big awkward pieces and then get it down to where it's just sorting the shelves. And oh, that's what fell. So it was a glass mirror, or not mirror, window. Didn't smash, so that's nice. Oh, there's another electrical motor under there. But yeah, there's stuff like, you got a box of nails, like $5-10 all day long. But then when you have that much like mouse stuff in, it's not really worth it to like clean it out. So it's basically just like scrap metal or garbage. So it kind of, if you're someone who likes saving stuff, it's kind of heartbreaking, but you got to make the progress, or else you'll be here like for a month, and I just do not have that time. I need to get through it, and I need to get on to the next thing. So all right, back to work. So when I was looking at the window that fell over, I saw something else on the ground. I was like, I haven't seen that before. It's pretty like shiny and new, and it was open. Hold on. It's this clamp thing, and I was like, well, what would that be from? And then just before that, I was looking at the hose connection, and so it must have fallen off of this guy while I was packing it. So kind of nice to catch that and put it with this, for whoever purchases it. They may want that same clamp for connecting a hose. I don't know if it's yeah, I don't know anything about this thing, so it definitely seems like it goes with it, so I'm gonna probably just put it on there, because I think if I put it where it goes, it's gonna be on the bottom and it's gonna get banged up. So that's what I'm gonna do. So here's how my organizing kind of ended up. Let the light adjust. So I have the heavy small engines to the left, and then on this right side, oh, it's so bright, the camera's pretty bad. It might be my sweaty pocket. And then on this side, I'm gonna put the motorcycle stuff, and then I'll throw the wiring on top, and anything else, if I can kind of leave this back part empty. I might try and get that like industrial electrical panel somewhere in here before I do the motorcycle. We'll see how that plays out. So if you're wondering if this thing is heavy, yes, it is also heavy. Let's see. That is like the thickness of the steel. So this is like a solid steel box filled with electrical doodads. So yeah, it's heavy. It's probably, I'm terrible at estimating, 80, 100 pounds. So it's just, everything is heavy. So I got it on the dolly, like so, tipped it, and you can probably guess what happened. So yeah, got a nice little mouse poop shower. So I got it all lined up here. The strategy is to push it. Those wheels will chunk down, and then I'll slide it along the bar. Or, yeah, I don't know. Once it chunks down, I might just see if I can push it off the dolly and in, and then tip it on its side. I don't know. I almost wonder if I should just push it off the side onto this ramp and then try and slide it in. My fear with that is that it's got these chunkies that it'll try and take the ramp with it. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Okay, so when those went down, it was a bit more abrupt than I would have liked. Kind of slid into that a little bit. It's fine. They're both fine. Whatever. But now I'm gonna try and wiggle this guy out, shuffle this to the side, and twist it. It should be good. So it's in there. It was an adventure. One of my tabs there is kind of bent. It's definitely a mouse nest inside. Definitely no mice. They would have been scurrying about in the chunking it down, so I'm just gonna leave it. I will probably scoot it this end to the side a little bit just to have more space for the motorcycle stuff. But yeah, that was that was a lot of work for that thing. So I better love it, because that was pretty sketch, pretty heavy, pretty. Yeah, I don't know if I would have done that in retrospect, but it's in there now. Okay, so I'm assuming this is some kind of salvage write-off motorcycle, because it's like they took a, what do you call it, angle grinder to it to chop sections off to make sure it could not end up back on the road, the frame anyways. So I don't know if that's a thing that like salvage auctions do, or insurance companies, or just people. But they're like, you can see the frame, it's in two pieces with chunks cut out of it. So there's no saving the frame, which is fine. I'm just after the parts that are on it. But the nice thing on this rear fender, we have a model number, GSX 1100. I don't see a year on here, but I might be able to get that from the VIN, if I can track that down, if it's somewhere on the frame or whatever. But I have enough information to do the Google search to see where that would be located. I have a decent idea on the year based on like the stuff that's on it. I'm guessing it's 80s or 90s. But you know, it's all the information slowly reveals itself. I did unfortunately scratch up the front fender a little bit more while loading this, so that's my bad. But it had enough scratches that whoever would buy it would probably be touching it up anyways. So I did those, not all of those, but a lot of the ones up there. All of the stuff back there was already on it, and there's a bunch more on the bottom. So I'm not too worried about it. But I was kind of annoyed when I did that. So I'm just going to throw this in, and then there's a couple more tires. And there's another set of shocks back here that look pretty nice. They're like a nice chrome set. So those are kind of cool. Looks like they got air valve doodads. Let's see, what does that say? RCC suspension. There's probably a part number on there somewhere. So pretty cool. Making good progress. I'm gonna take this today. I don't know if I'll take the tire balancer today or not. We'll see how I'm doing for room. We're getting pretty full. Yeah, I think I'd rather get the wheel weights out of here than that one. Like, it doesn't take up much space, so that's what I'll do. So I had a closer look at those shocks, and they're actually Showa brand, SHOWA. That rings a bit of a bell for me, so I think those might be performance parts. Could be wrong. I don't know a ton about motorcycles, but that's definitely something I will be looking up to see if they're valuable. They're also a nice size, easy to ship. They are heavy, but that's fine. So those might be good. So here's how it's looking in here. Just like I planned it, right? Everything's right where I said it would end up. So it's a mess. I just kind of got stuff where I could get it. There is like a, next to the electrical panel thing, there is like a long skinny space. So I am going to try and get the hydraulic rams. That one, and that one. I think that might be all there is. I think that's that might be one too. So I'm gonna try and get the hydraulic rams in there. I might try and sell them locally, just as a lot. I have no idea what to price them at. It might be like, I might do like $80, just get them gone quick. But I need to do a bit of research to see, just to make sure I'm not pricing them crazy. So I'm gonna get those in that spot, and then I think there's a bit of a square space on the passenger side, and so I'm gonna try and get these wheel weights in there, or at least a couple of them put in there. And then over here, there was one other water pump, a small green one. I grabbed it and took it out. There's I don't know what this is. Varvel, Italy. So it's a motor of some sort. But yeah, we're pretty cleared out of most of the stuff. Like, I think all this plastic. I haven't really looked at what these ones are. They're like dividers for something. I think they're all gonna be garbage. Like, they're so brittle and so old. There's not much use for them. This might be another water pump right here. Yeah, I'd say that's a water pump. So I might throw that in the van as well, just because it's small. But yeah, I'm making progress, slowly yet steady, but we're getting there. So I just pulled this up out of the grass. I think it looks cool. I think it looks pretty badass. Nice big cast door for a stove or fireplace. Neat little handle. You know, clearly had some breakage and modifications over the years, but you know, pretty cool thing. I think someone will pay, you know, $20-25 for that, just as a decoration. So kind of nice just to be walking in the grass and feel something solid and find that. All right, so this just happened. Didn't go through my shoe, but that's some barbed wire that's stuck in the sole. So that's not great, but yeah, well. Yeah, so far I've got, I think there's 4 hydraulic rams in there, and there's one more big one that's gonna be heavy that I'm gonna grab right now. And then I throw the wire that I got here on top. I know there's gonna be more in here, but there's a big enough pile that I want to clear it out I am going to take the fencing wire too, and I'm going to see how many of those I can get in. There is an engine, small engine there. Well, two of them. One's missing the head. I'm probably not going to get those in today. There's just, I'm kind of loading vertical now on top of stuff, and I don't really want to put those there. Yeah. So that one, you can see the piston's got a giant hole in it. So something went wrong with that one. It's probably just going to be scrap. The other one, you know, it doesn't look so bad. I might have to have a closer look at it. See what it looks like. The what's it called? Spark plug broke off. So if that's all that's wrong with that one, it might be someone might want to have a go at fixing that one. So looks like, yeah, I'm not an expert on these things. Yeah, I don't know what its deal is, but it's interesting. It's interesting looking. I might see if someone wants to buy it for a project. Yes, but anyways, big pistons going in. I'm gonna try and get this hitch. I'm not actually sure if these arms go with that one. It doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah, they go down here. Okay, yes, I'm gonna take that and those two, because it's prime trailer season, so I should be able to sell that for I'm guessing $50. I'll have to do some research, but that's my guess. Hopefully pretty quick. So I'm going to take that, and then wheel weights, wire, done. That's it for today. Here's kind of the overview. We'll go from the door. Maybe I'll do this after I load those so it actually looks a bit more empty. So this is another automotive doodad I came across. As far as I know, sure looks like it. I don't really know anything about it. It's cast aluminum. There's a bunch of markings. WB2 511793556. I wonder if that's a year. SPM-7 or SPM7. So I'm going to add it to my might be good pile, and I'll look that up when I get home. This is just my magnet that I have. I just keep it on the back of my van. And so yeah, I'm still going. I'm down to just the wire that has to go in now. I might take that yellow box too if I got room, just because it's nice. Maybe this, like, I can't remember what it's called, like a pipe and cable locator. I've seen those sell at auction for like $50. I don't know if that's normal, high, low, but that is what I saw it go for at a local auction. I want to say it was like a couple months ago or a month ago. So this is kind of a public service announcement or a safety warning if you're ever doing this sort of stuff. So this bucket is full of wheel weights, which are partially lead. So that's like a pretty solid hunk of lead. So very, very heavy. If you look at this bucket, it's discolored. That means it has UV damage usually. And so you can see it's chipped and cracked there. It gets brittle. And so it might not look like a big deal, but moving this bucket is very dangerous because you risk dropping, I don't know what that is, like 50 pounds of lead on your feet because the bucket will just let go. So if I was smart, I would put it in different bucket like that one there, or just carry it in such a way that if it falls, it's not going to be on your toesies. So that's something to watch for. This one's the scary one. The orange one is just probably twice as heavy. That white one I haven't even tried to lift yet because it's going to be unpleasant. But I'm going to try and get them in as best I can. My plan was to put them on top of my toolbox. I don't think my toolbox can handle more than 1 or 2 of these on it without bending it or breaking it. So I might need to come up with a new plan on where I'm putting these things, because they are really heavy, like really heavy, which, you know, that's the reputation of lead. So, all right, but I'm just about done here. Okay, so I got 2 of them in. That's all I'm taking today. Those are crazy, so heavy. Like, yeah, not fun. I don't know. It should be a lot easier getting them out of here. The nice thing is this one's double bucket, so I had 2 handles to grab. Kind of awkwardly, but having 2 handles made it quite a bit easier. That one's still super scary, but I got it in. So I'm about done with things from in here. I don't think I might throw the weed eater and the other head of a weed eater in on top. But I think that's the only other thing. I think I'm going to put that with the wheel weights, because this is what whoever was here was using to melt the lead. You can see there's some bullets in there, which are also lead. So I might throw that in with the things, and whoever locally wants to buy the wheel weights, I'll just offer they can have that if they want. Whether they take it or not doesn't really matter. If nobody wants it, I can just throw it in the scrap metal bin. So yeah, here's how we're looking. Again, none of that stuff, not that fireplace or the shopsmith, not my responsibility. I'm gonna just decide that chimney and that chimney go with that. Same with that one, even though that makes no sense. That's my decision, because I don't want to take them. And then, so next trip, it's gonna be just going through this, sorting through it, taking the stuff. I think I'm gonna take that cage with me this time, because I kind of got room over top of the lead. So that's a good thing that takes up a good amount of space, and is easy to unload. And so yeah, next trip is going to be about those things. That one, mostly the shelves, but mostly this area here. If I can get it packed up, find all the little gems that are in there, then I should be pretty close to done. I'm hoping I only have 2 more trips. That might be dreaming a little bit. But I would like to get this done, honestly, tomorrow, but more likely 1 load tomorrow, and then 1 on Monday, and then after I load up the stuff from here, go to the next location where it's more of a garage. It's a lot more organized, a lot tidier, no mice, or significantly less mice. and start boxing that one up, because I can't remember if I'm supposed to be done this week or next, but I would really like to be done next week, because it's been a lot of work. It's you know, it is it's a lot. It's fun. It's cool to see all this stuff, and I think it's gonna go very well, be profitable and all that stuff. But it's a lot of work up front, and especially in this heat. So yeah, that's probably it for me today. So yeah, that's kind of the big look here. I didn't really touch anything outside except, let's see, whoop. There's kind of a green hose there. That was from outside. Yeah, I think that's about it from outside. There's one more hose that I'm gonna grab as well that's out here. It's a draw hose to draw from like a river. So I'm gonna grab that, or a pond or whatever. So I'm gonna grab that and probably head out. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I remembered I was supposed to take some of those boards if I had time, and I sort of did. Oh god. Oh, there's another one coming. I can feel it. That wasn't a real sneeze. So I took the shiplap board from here. I wasn't really doing it the way you're supposed to. Ideally, you start at the top and work your way down. I started at the bottom and worked my way up, which meant a lot of the like overlapping part like this was getting broken when I peeled it off. But I sort of had a okay strategy where I would pop from the bottom and then go to the one above, get my pry bar under there, lift it up a bit. Like for the most part, it just had these tiny little nails keeping it in, so they popped out pretty easy. So I was able to do that for most. Basically up that high, I can't get over this direction to get to the other side to pop them off. So I'm happy. She just wants enough to make like a on-wall headboard thing. So I think there's plenty, even with the ones I kind of wrecked a little bit, if she doesn't want to use them. So I got this section, and I think some from the other side, I don't remember. So those are all loaded in there now. So now I got a pretty full load. But those are nice boards, so I think she'll like them. But yeah, now I gotta hit the road. It is basically like right on schedule for the time I said that I wanted to leave. It's a little bit after 3, so I should be home for like 4. I do have to stop at the post office. I had a pretty decent eBay order, it was $70. So I need to drop that off because I think it's getting close. Yeah, I guess I could grab like those 3 boards as well. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So yeah, pop those off super quick. Like, I don't know if that was 5 minutes even. Just get the wedge behind, pull on one corner, go to the other one, and the whole board pops off. I did take the one that's kind of gray on the bottom, but it had a mix of the gray and brown. I know there are people who love the like weathered barn board, but I think mixing those two would look funny, and I don't really want to mess with those, so I'm just gonna leave them. Same with those. I'm not gonna bring my scaffolding to get up there or whatever. I'm just gonna take what's the low-hanging fruit, you know. Yeah, so that's it for me today. I'm loaded up to the roof again, and yeah, hoping to get this unit done in 2 more trips. Hoping to do those 2 trips tomorrow and Monday. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a few pieces of aluminum out here and one piece of stainless steel that I'm going to take for recycle. But that's it for the stuff out here, unless I decide that I'm going to take a shred metal one. Oh, there's also those engines that are down here. So yeah, I gotta make some decisions. There's part of me that's curious to look underneath here, but there's another part of me that's like, why? So we'll see. If you hear about me crawling under there, you'll know that curiosity got the best of me. But yeah, another awesome day. It is super warm. I'd say it's probably getting close to 30 degrees right now, Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm excited to hop in the van and crank the air conditioning. The other thing you could sort of see, like if you're like, hey, that's kind of a cool building, why are they planning to destroy it? Which, as I understand it, is the plan. You can sort of see why, like where the grass is smushed down here and smushed down there, that's the width of their combine. And so my van and where I've been working kind of messes it up. But it makes for a pretty tight corner here with this building and the angle. This land is flatter. So it's in the way. It's in the way of their operation, and they just want to get rid of it. So it makes sense if they don't use it for storage or anything. And there is another building they've built over there that's, I don't know, easily twice the size. So it's just an extra building to them. So it makes sense to me. It's not, it's not weatherproof. It's not animal proof. So it's not, you can't actually use it for things you don't want animals to get into. So it's not as useful as it looks. But yeah, I'm out of here. So if you've ever wondered if I have allergies, that's my eye right now. So I think partially what happened was when I was taking those boards off, there were a bunch of like dead bugs and stuff behind them, and it kind of came down. I should have been wearing goggles or glasses, safety glasses, but something got in there and it is quite irritated. So I can see fine. So when I get home, I'll flush it out and take an antihistamine. But yeah, risks of the job.